Hi, it's Romy Cancer. Welcome to my channel. Thanks so much for tuning in for your February 2021 soul story. So if you have a sun rising or your moon is in Cancer, then this is a general reading, but some of the messages and insights might well resonate for you. And as you continue to move through the month, hopefully they will continue to support you in navigating some of the influences that are coming in. So we're opening up your reading with the energy of the Eight of Swords. And, you know, it is important to remember that we are in a Mercury retrograde season up until the 20th of the month. And we have this stellium of energies in the air sign of Aquarius, the Sun, Venus, Mercury, Saturn and Jupiter. The air energy is sometimes a little bit more challenging for you to work with, and it does indicate that through this month, as you're trying to make your way through some of the haze and the uncertainty or the lack of clarity in some areas, there may be a little bit of that exasperated energy that, if you're not careful, can kind of compound and, you know, really bring in a little bit more stress and anxiety and kind of feel like things are at that high alert status. What you need to remember is that this month, really the greatest gift that you have, and it's going to be a really beautifully honest month for you, I believe, Cancer. The greatest gift that you're going to have is in your own self-realization, or where you are making things much harder for yourself. I think that there's going to be an awareness that comes for you about what's missing. And that in and of itself doesn't have to be a reflection that's negative. It can be an observation. But if you allow yourself to step into the energy of the lack, of the thing that's not there, then you're going to start to discredit how far you've come, where you're at, and actually all of the things that are starting to make their way towards you. So your Eight of Swords might have you a little bit bound up, particularly in that first initial part of the month. But there is an awful lot of supportive energy that is going to come in to really help you embody a much more present state of mind, okay? Now we've got a new moon coming in on the 11th of the month, and there's a beautiful Venus-Jupiter conjunction happening on the same day. And on the 12th, we've got the lunar Chinese New Year, the year of the ox, coming in. And so good news and the opportunity to kind of really come to terms with something, but also to see a breakthrough by way of an evaluation and an adjustment that you might make, you know, and I think that's going to help you to break free of some of the stress or the anxiety that might be just weighing a little bit heavy on you, okay? So we've got the Two of Pentacles coming in, and you are managing, okay? You're managing, you're juggling, you're making the best of situations at the moment, and there may be some important decisions or reflections that are coming, and this is why this month is going to be so important by way of the honesty and the self-reflection, because there's going to be an element of you feeling like something is stuck or not moving or not where it needs to be, or like we said, there's the awareness of something key that's missing. And yet I feel behind the scenes, things are actually moving much, much quicker than what you expect. And so if you kind of settle back into like an almost a stillness and a comfort zone that just says, well, there's no point, or I'm just going to leave that just now, or just feeling the frustration of the energy and kind of letting that lock you down. There might just be that aspect of a bit of a sharp awakening when things do move and start to open up, and then you find yourself having to kind of quickly make up for lost time. So just be aware, and if you can, start to embody that energy of acting as if what you are looking for, the breakthrough, what you are seeking by way of information or by way of an experience, or, you know, an intention to come into manifestation, start to act as if it's already happening. That's going to be really important, not only for your mindset, your attitude, and how your mental well-being is going to deal with some of the energies that are coming in, but it's also going to just put you into the right frame of mind and to be in a much more receptive mode to what's coming through, okay? There is this aspect when we come through into Pisces season, into this fellow water sign, where you're going to start to speak a language that feels a little bit more comfortable for you, that there's a recognition of something that you want to to release, you want to let go of. The Ten of Swords, can sometimes feel like an uncomfortable energy to be presented with, but actually in this instance, I think it's going to be really cathartic for you, because what we're seeing here is an ending of the stress, of the anxiety, an ending of something that is feeling intolerably difficult to juggle, whether it be just, the lack of information, the lack of energy, the lack of resources and abundance, the lack of communication. What we need to know is that actually this month is information rich. There's going to be an awful lot of things that are going to come back into your awareness by way of Mercury retrograde that you need to pay attention to. But what we're dealing with in the backdrop, Cancer, is this really strong dynamic tension that's playing out between Saturn and Uranus. There's a square coming in on the 17th. It's the first of three during 2021, the second on June 14th, and then December 24th. Now, we played with this energy last year. We're still going to meet it in 2022. So there's a continuation of a story that's happening, on your very personal journey, that's about this balance of where you feel the need to control things, where you're trying to feel more secure and safe within yourself, and what that's leading to by way of actions that you're taking or the stress that you're putting upon yourself, and this desire for freedom, for liberation, for wanting everything to change, for wanting to just break free and kind of have that almost rebellious quality. Uranus wants us to turn everything upside down and have that complete sense of change coming through. So it's a tough energy to balance out, and sometimes in order for us to move forward, we really do have to make peace with something ending or coming to a point of completion. But for me, the Ten of Swords can actually liberate you. And when I'm looking at all of they're represented by swords, but they almost look like lightning bolts coming up, it's making me really feel that Uranus energy and what it's doing by way of influence for all of us, but particularly for you through this month of February, Cancer, is actually going to make space for more of what it is that you want to come through. But if you find yourself moving into the energy of the things that haven't shown up yet, you're just heaping much more anxiety on yourself than you need to at the moment. So we've got the Knight of Cups coming through. Now it could be another water sign or yourself, Cancer, Pisces or Scorpio, but certainly, through the process of this transition, and I think February is going to feel like a bit of a transition month, I do think it's going to be incredibly clarifying for you. I really feel that, and the honesty of it might feel a bit sharp at times as you reflect on things, but it's going to help you to integrate so much of what you learned through the course of last year. And here we have the energy of this night coming forth with messages, with offers, with proposals for you. Now, that might play out in different aspects of your life. Yes, for some of you, it could be more on the romantic relationship aspect of things, but I also have a sense for some of you, it's going to be in a meaningful area where you need to see or have the validation of something that you've been investing your energy into, okay? But it's almost like before you can get to that point, there just needs to be a shift in your thinking, in your attitude, in your mindset. So once we can get over that, then the energies start to flow. And we get forward movement and change. What comes through, Two of Cups, is this sense of unity, of harmony, of coming together. Beautiful, loving energy coming through here. Your twos, are suggestive that there are some really important decisions and choices that you're going to be considering and weighing up. Now, in retrograde season, there's a slowing down. It's not a stop. But equally, it's important while you're considering and reflecting upon what might be important by way of connections, relationships, proposals, offers on the table, that you don't rush into anything, okay? The Knight of Cups is not an energy that is forcing you or pressuring you, but of course there are some other influences that are playing out through February that might trick you into feeling like you have to come to that point of decision more quickly than you're ready for. Now, when we come into the second half of the month and we make our way toward that full moon in Virgo, something really beautiful coming to fruition and culmination at that point that may be very connected to vocation, career, abundance, just something real and tangible that you're going to feel much more content and secure within yourself about. Now, Venus moves into Pisces on the 25th as well, so some really heartfelt conversations taking place, and we'll be out of retrograde energy there as well. So that's going to be a really conducive time if you are looking at important connections in your life and needing to sort of take the awareness that's come to you, perhaps about what's missing, maybe what's missing in that relationship, what you feel has been missing in the connection, or something that you're coming to terms with or realizing about, yourself, and you're now sharing that in a way that feels balanced from your energy is what I'm picking up. Okay, there isn't this, there's not a need to kind of come at this like in a direct kind of forceful way. It just feels much more easy and flowing, and I think that's going to help you to embody this state of presence, and that's going to make a big difference to your peace of mind and your peace of heart actually as well. Okay, Ten of Cups, a lot of emotional energy coming through here, and I think you are just really figuring out what it is that makes you happy and what it is that you're going to need to make you happy. Now, you've got your 2-10 energies coming through here, so we really are bringing something to a point of completion. And with that, there is an acknowledgement that there's no point in going back. And the retrograde energy is really interesting because, of course, it does take us back. It takes us back over things. But the evaluation that you're going to have through February, Cancer, for me is really going to identify something stark, right? That's the word they just gave me. There's a stark realization, a stark understanding about something within yourself. And knowing that is going to empower you actually, so it's going to help you to come to some really important conclusions and decisions about what's going to be right from this point forth, okay? And that doesn't mean destruction and annihilation across the board. It just means a really honest understanding and evaluation of where you're going to commit moving forward and what it is that you want to focus on in order to support your emotional, your mental, your spiritual well-being. Now, there's something strongly highlighted by way of relationships going on within the family environment and perhaps how partnerships are impacting on that level. You have beautiful healing energy coming through with Temperance, but again, this requirement to make an adjustment in order to somehow alleviate the stress or anxiety of a particular situation that feels necessary. Sometimes that Knight of Cups energy coming through is not quite as tangible as you would like it to be. And so the offer that's coming forth, the proposal, the initiation of something, whilst it might feel good and could perhaps kind of come in and soothe your soul for a short period of time, there is something here that feels a little temporary. So, and that's okay, it doesn't have to be a negative. Like, we could be finding a temporary fix here. We could be finding a temporary opportunity. We could be finding a temporary way forward. But there is going to be a requirement to come back again just to really finesse something, or to look at the finer details, or to just make sure that once we're free and clear of that retrograde energy, that we are both completely aligned to what we've decided and what we've discussed. Now, there's some beautiful creative energy that's kind of waiting in the wings, is what they're saying to me, waiting in the wings. And it might just be a little bit of a case of like needing to release a block or release some energy. And so I guess what I want to say is, you might have something really clearly worked out in your head, Cancer, but have you worked it out within your physical body? Is there some kind of energy resistance that's happening there? We really need to make sure that we're lined up on all levels, because like I said, it feels to me that we're building to something then shifting and moving and happening very, very fast. There is a timing aspect to this, and your Temperance is coming through and inviting this sense of moderation in your approach. So it's not about going to the extreme of anything. It's like, what's it going to take for you to just find that centered, leveled aspect of how you're feeling. Now, Temperance also links into Sagittarius, so you might have a Sagittarius energy that you're dealing with. And certainly we look at the two paths here that are being shown, and perhaps you feeling like, actually, you know what, I need to kind of road test both of them. And that's okay, you know, it's not a month where we're saying you have to like be all in one area. And in a way, the experiment of playing with different possibility as you sit in this time of uncertainty is actually an approach that could serve you really well through the month of February, okay? So if there are different things that you're weighing up, give yourself time and the chance to review and reflect and to try out. You know, don't just sit with it in your thought forms. There needs to be some action to actually try it on and actually move in the direction of that pathway just to get a better feel, because something that looks good on paper or something that's said in words could feel quite different when you're actually trying it or doing it, creating it or embodying it. And so there's something important that you need to understand about the physical action that needs to be taken, even if it's just a few steps, to give you an appreciation of what that's going to feel like for you moving forward, okay? So we've got your energy of 9 of Wands coming through, and you know, there is a moment, I think, where you're going to reflect about whether you want to give up on something, maybe even someone. You know, you might have reached the end of the road or just hit a bit of a wall with something, but there's something that's not yet been revealed or shown to you. And I think intuitively you're going to have this sense of, okay, don't give up quite yet, not quite yet. The way that he stands here with the galaxy behind him is just suggesting the infinite vastness of the possibility and opportunity. And if you need to take a moment to rest and recharge your energy, so be it. But I want to go back to that phrase about not discrediting how far you've come. It's going to be incredibly important for you this month, Cancer, okay? Because if you can really acknowledge, regardless of the steps that you've taken, even if it's the smallest of shifts or, you know, just the intention that you've made, it's enough, it matters. Use that to harness and to command the energy in moving forward, okay? These wolves on either side are balanced in their approach, and they want you to find that sense of balance within yourself, right next to Temperance here. So there's something that, you know, you're going to have to work a little bit more with more focus and with more attention than usual through February to make sure that you don't get veered off course, okay? Remember that exasperation that can come in many ways can give you an opportunity really to kind of be able to take the reins of something and actually to push forward through that last mile of something, okay? And I do think that you're going to see far more breakthroughs than you anticipate perhaps in that first part of the month, where you might still be dealing with, you know, the overwhelm or the overstimulation of some of the energies. So I actually love the Queen of Swords showing up here. She has an air energy, Aquarius, Gemini or Libra, so that might be relevant for some of you, but it's really about being able to cut through a lot of the cloudiness and a lot of the uncertainty and know what it's going to take. There's something in you through the course of February that is going to understand, even if there's an awareness of what's missing, there's an acknowledgement of what it's going to take to remedy that, to fill that, to move towards a solution. And that's in the details, you know. The Queen of Swords is coming at this from a, you know, she's quite discriminating, you know. There's that kind of the need to look at all of the fine detail. You know, she's not going to let you away with just trying to flake your way through something. You know, she's going to pull you up constantly and make you face things, make you acknowledge things, and, you know, really ask you, invite you to look at the way you are communicating, look at the way you are expressing yourself. She'll take the emotion out of a situation, and in many ways I think that could be really helpful for you, Cancer, because of course your natural intuitive feeling energy is one to just go right into that empathic mode and kind of absorb and take on everything, and that can be challenging when you're being surrounded by people who are projecting an awful lot, or if you're under that stress and tension yourself. And so the energy of her stepping forth and just saying, okay, let's take the emotion out of this situation. Now, what's the next best step? Now, what's the right approach? Now, how do I feel about this? So I think that's going to give you a nice balance that's going to help you get to where you need to be through the course of February. So we're going to just take a look and see how these animal cards are going to reflect the main part of your reading here. Okay, so you have the lynx, cat energy coming through, and secrets. Now again, this is the number 2, so you got a lot of 2 energy showing up in February, okay? So be aware that, you know, the partnerships, the relationships, the emphasis on connections, on decisions and choices is going to be very strong. Now, information is yet to come to light that may be pertinent to you deciding what comes next, okay? Certainly the lynx has a firm focus and the ears very strongly listening. So make sure you are listening, and you will hear and pick up information that perhaps would be easily missed, but actually could be very valuable. Being aware through retrograde that not everything is always as it seems, and we really need to process and integrate how it is going to impact us. And of course, cat energy is about trusting our intuition and knowing that there's a timing aspect to this, which is, you know, also being highlighted with temperance. So there's something very important about the timing of conversations, the timing that you decide to make an adjustment or make a change. And really, when you're feeling inspired to look, to do something, to pick something up, to revisit something, to evaluate and then move forward, you know, pay very close attention to what's happening around the timing of that. I think that there's more information that's going to be relevant and very helpful for you, okay? These are inspiration cards by Autumn Skye. So let's just take a look and see what wants to come through here for you. Okay, so we have this energy of her tearing open, and the affirmation is opening. Heal old stories, practice loving self-talk, release personal judgment. You are limitless, be authentic. Okay, this energy of being limitless and giving yourself permission to open up to the things that you are desiring. And like we said, the gift is really in the understanding and the self-realization that you're coming to. And that's going to help you to make adjustments that are really necessary. I think a lot of the exasperation, the frustration and the stress is, you know, coming down to observing, you know, other people and feeling that they're not where you want them to be. And I think if we take that out of the equation and we put the firm focus back on how far you've come and where you've been able to achieve so much of the growth, you're going to set yourself free in some aspect, and it's going to bring this sense of relief that's going to flood through, and then actually invite a lot more offers, proposals, and the awakening of something that's going to give you the opportunity to find much more balance and harmony coming through, okay? So this is a general reading for February Cancer. If you'd like to join me for the extended, I'm just going to invite you to think about a question that I might not have touched upon. This is a general reading, and we're going to go ahead and pull a couple of cards in relation to that now. So just think about what you want to ask. Okay. You can find the link for the extended readings in the description box underneath, and I really appreciate the support of my channel. Thank you so much. So let's just start out with this 8 of Swords energy. Okay, clarified by the 8 as well. So really feeling restricted in some aspect. Okay, 5 of Wands. The struggle is real, but we have a way through. So there is help and support and a better balance of energy coming through for you. Nice. Chariot energy, of course, reflecting of your sign. And I think the reminder to tap into that cardinal energy that you so beautifully possess. Okay, so you're getting a lot of 10s coming through in this reading, which is great because it does mean that you are directing your energy towards bringing something to life, bringing something to fruition. You are going to see the results of something coming in. Okay, we got all 4 10s showing up. There's your Queen of Swords again. I love that 8 of Wands picking up the energy of the Chariot. Very focused, intentional, inspired action. And that swiftness of movement that I mentioned, you know. So do not be under the illusions that you're going to be in a state of stagnancy if that's your experience right now. There's something through February that's going to start to quicken and require your energy and your ability to, you know, to think and act decisively. Okay, Cancer, I'm going to leave it there. If you'd like to join me for the extended, we're going to go into a lot more detail with what messages are now being presented with these additional clarifying cards. Otherwise, I'm going to wish you beautiful, bright blessings for this month. I really appreciate you tuning into the channel. I hope you've enjoyed your reading and take good care. Bye-bye.